One time I played pool with Michael Brecker at a wedding. It was him and his daughter, and they were like hiding from everybody in the basement in a little room with a pool table. And I went, "Oh, hi, Michael," because I walked into the room because I want to get away from the people too. And I said, "Man, you're one of my favorites. Do you know that my ringtone on my phone is that one lick in pools, in your pools solo that you play that goes." I said, so what made you play that? And he goes, I don't know. I was listening to some stuff. I said, do you practice all the time? He goes, yeah. I'm never satisfied with anything I've done in the past, and I'm always trying to find something new. And so I don't know. I heard that pretty young from him, and
That's
I think that's right.
that is right.
Perpetual student.
Yeah, and Coltrane was the same apparently, and now we just had the great Steve Grossman pass away, and everybody's talking. He's the bridge, really,
Yes.
between Coltrane and Brecker,
Right.
and now I just read last night that Liebman was saying that they were all in agreement back in the day that Grossman had the most going on.
Oh
He
yeah.
said,
I mean, so much stuff.
and
He didn't seem to record a lot.
yeah, no, there's minimal albums, but the ones I've heard that I knew, and the first one I heard was his debut with a '73, the Some Shapes to Come, and it's that funky, just going off on D minor for
Yep.
8 minutes. And just, I don't know what it is when someone sounds like they're just making noise, which I think a lot of people, if they're not into jazz, they might think it all sounds like noise. So there's different levels of it. But I've really thought about that. What is it about someone like Grossman and Brecker that when they're going crazy, why is it appealing? I'm just interested in the next thing they're going to say, and how is it relating to what the other people are saying that they're playing with. It's a cool conversation.
I mean, to me, I'm always gravitating towards the players like Steve Grossman and Michael Brecker and Schofield too, in some ways.
Oh yeah.
That it just sounds like they're making soup of all their influences, and I'm not aware of it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm hearing this person's personality full on in their voice, like really their tone and their sweat and everything's coming out of whatever they're playing. And if you analyzed every single little lick, you could trace it back to something that, you go, oh, that's that lick from that Dr. John record, except it's played a tritone away. Stuff like that.
Yes.
I mean, and every single thing that you hear in any of those guys' solos could be looked at that way. But then when you hear it, it feels like a whole thing. It doesn't feel like contrived in any way. I think they've digested all their influences so much into their being, into their DNA, their musical DNA anyway. I don't know if your actual DNA has music in it. Maybe it does.
Maybe it does.
But, but when you digest stuff like that and in a deep way, people, they don't hear. You're not borrowing anything. You're stealing it. Right?
And I think that's a great thought to digest for people and going, no one's really creating something necessarily new. The only reason you can do this stuff is because other people have done versions of that. What makes, I think, a person unique is that your mind and your personality and your love of certain things has made you gravitate toward these certain elements, and then they're a melting pot inside your brain.
Exactly. And everybody's different because of their upbringing, and there are so many different things happening in your life to make you who you are that we could all listen to the exact same things and put them in the same solo and all sound totally different, right?
And
physicality, even just like your fingers, how they work. Like your fingers long or short. Steve Vai sounds how he does, partly because his fingers are twice as long as mine.
I love watching him play. It's just so
He's incredible.
It's like a little ballet with his fingers. It's kind of whoa, these sweeps, and it almost doesn't seem like those sounds could be coming out of the guitar.
Incredible.
It's so eloquent. Like, yeah. I
shook his hand. I shook his hand once. I was like, like his hand ate my hand.
You're like, I'm a little boy. Can I have some more?
I was like, hey, Steve, and I was like, oh, okay.
One thing about Steve Vai that's really inspiring to me is that I might, everyone has their areas of their life that they could grow, and you hear him in certain contexts, and you just think that's kind of a crazy heavy metal guy. I love your mug. Yes, I see it front and center. 5 eggs of Christmas.
The 5 eggs of Christmas.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
It's Teddy's friend Bob, who they've been doing live streams together, and you just have to watch about 30 seconds of one of those, and you'll understand this mug.
And then you'll be done. You have to watch 30 seconds, and then you'll be like, no, off.
No, but that's a good point. No, that's not necessarily true. You got to go a little deeper. And with Steve Vai, it's like you might make this thought that, oh, he's kind of just a crazy heavy metal rocker.
Right.
And he is. And then in my mind, I don't know why I thought this or where that got planted, but I was into jazz and Charlie Parker and Miles in high school. I was lucky enough to be influenced by that. So then I kind of was thinking, Metallica and Iron Maiden and all that. That's a little too much.
A little much.
Since then, I've listened to quite a lot more of that, and then then I hear Steve Vai. He has so many videos and talking and interviews, and he is one of the smartest dudes you're ever going to meet. So he's choosing to play simple power chords for that song for that moment. But then you go, have you listened to this? And when I was at University of Miami and the Passion and Warfare, somebody played me that at the Swami Palace. Did you ever go to a party there?
Of course.
At a house.
Dressel and Tim Reisig, and who else has lived there? Ben Stivers, did he live there?
Ben Stivers, yeah. The Swami Palace.
With the giant spiders on the trees outside? Ugh.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, that place was crazy.
I remember them putting that on, and I'm just going, party over for me. I was just standing there right by these crank speakers and going, I have to go buy this album tomorrow because this is the coolest thing I've ever heard.